Hello, this is wmpyr here to talk about my first impressions of watching Blade Runner. I saw it on Sunday, and it really enjoyed it. I really did. I was looking forward to it. I do like the original very much, and do I recommend it? If you're like the type of person that likes to look at a painting and you see like a landscape or something, and you look at that painting and it makes you think of like what it's like to be there, or it takes you into that world. If you like that kind of feeling, then for sure I recommend that you go watch it in the movie theater, because visually it's extremely impressive. And I think you could easily get that from just watching the trailer, that you know that this is going to be a visually impressive film. So if that's the case, you do enjoy that kind of stuff, then definitely check it out on a big, huge screen at the movie theater. So that was really good. The downside is it's 2 hours and 40 minutes. So for me, with something that long, I would like to watch it at home where I could just pause it, go to take my restroom break or whatever, and just go at my own pace. I would like to do that. In the movie theater, you're locked in, so that's not very cool in that sense. It's just so long. Ridley Scott presents to you a story, and I was able to get into the story, so I really enjoyed it. That being said, though, I did enjoy his presentation. I did enjoy his storytelling, because that's what a movie is. But do I like the story? It's not my bag of tea, because I do like science fiction, but this is science fiction drama with a thriller, should I say. And there's some action in there, but mostly drama. And I'm not a fan of drama. I don't like drama in real life or in movies or in stories. And so this is heavily on that. So because of that, I don't really care. The story's not my bag of tea. I still enjoyed it. Still glad I saw it. Very much so. But yeah, just want to get that out there. The weakest part for the movie for me was I don't know the technical term. Should I say screenplay? Script, storyboard. I don't know the difference really between those three, but that to me was the weakest part. Why? Because some parts just come across as vague. I'm not sure what you're trying to tell me, or I'm not sure what I'm supposed to get out of this scene. And maybe he does that on purpose. Maybe it's not the script's fault. Maybe that's his style, because Prometheus was that way. Alien Covenant was that way, so it just might be the way that he does things. And so you could give him a perfectly, very direct black and white script, and he'll make it like that, It does remind me a lot of like Kubrick in a way, because it crawls under your skin, and it's kind of bothersome, the way his movies are. But he was that way from the beginning with Alien, so... I wouldn't say that he's copying Kubrick. It's a totally different style, but I do feel that it's similar in that sense. Speaking of which, the music was like, to me, a cross between Clockwork Orange and David Lynch's Dune. So that's kind of how I felt. And the music was very powerful and is used in a way... Well, there were so many parts of the movie I felt like is kind of like groundbreaking. Groundbreaking today is not as like impactful, it seems like, because we've done so much for films. So even if you do something groundbreaking, people don't seem to really go, "Whoa, that's groundbreaking." Like when Terminator 2 came out, it was like people's jaws just dropped to the floor, even though that technology, that special effects with the T-1000 was already seen in a movie before, in The Abyss, but people acted like it was the first time they've seen it. I was probably guilty of that too, but later on we have films like Inception, to me Mad Max Fury Road, and then even It more recently, Stephen King's It, and then this film right here. To me, all of those are groundbreaking. I feel like if you are a film student, I'm not a film student, so I can't give you technical, terminology and stuff like that. But I do feel like if you are a film student, then it's good to study these and see the techniques and the methods that these films bring in, because I feel like they brought in something new. The weakest part, like I said, for me was the storyboard or script area. I felt like that was the part that was the least innovative. There were some parts that I felt was almost like cheesy or cheap in a way, that it's almost like in a horror film if they try to scare you using jump scenes, right? Is that really scary, or it's because they use the jump scenes? You know what I mean? If it's truly scary, if they do it by the story, then that's impressive. But if they're using jump scare tactics, I feel like then it's a little bit not first rate. And I felt like this kind of had that, not with the horror stuff, but like with the twist type stuff, twist ending type stuff, or I don't want to say twist ending, but that area. And for that reason alone, I'm gonna put spoiler on this video just because I said that. But I'm trying to avoid as much of that as possible, because when I do watch it again, then I'd like to go into more details and stuff and whatnot. So yeah, the film was very, very impressive overall. Really enjoyed it. And that's the thing though. When Blade Runner was announced, I didn't quite know what to expect from this movie. You hear about like Total Recall and RoboCop. Those were, what are they called? Reboots, right? Remakes? Is that what they are? Thankfully, this wasn't that, because I hated both of those, and I really like Total Recall, the original, and I really like RoboCop. So I wanted to like those, and just me, it just didn't work out for me. Not saying that they're bad films, and I'm not going to be that kind of person now, because I made that mistake in the past where I would just thrash a film. And then I realized, dude, who are you? Have you made a movie? If you haven't, then you don't know what you're talking about. So don't say bad stuff like that, I'm just saying it's just not my bag of tea. In this one, Blade Runner takes a different direction. And to me, this is not a reboot. It's a totally different story. In fact, it's so different that it changes the original in some ways. Or it's almost like you just don't connect them because they won't make sense. So just keep them separate. I don't know if Prometheus and Alien Covenant did that. I think maybe Ridley Scott was trying to do that for those films, and maybe he did successfully. I'm not super analyzing. I'm just here to enjoy. I'm not a film student, like I said, so I'm not super technical with this stuff. But I'm glad that he didn't just do a reboot, and should I even call it it's a sequel in a way, but. And that's the thing, in Hollywood, most of the time when they make sequels, it flops. So then they started doing the remakes, the reboots, and then those don't seem to be doing well. So I think Hollywood right now is trying to figure out, what do we do? How can we fix this problem? And I think with this Blade Runner, it was a non-issue. It was not a problem. So my hat goes off to him. And so if you are interested in this kind of stuff, then and if you like the original, I definitely do recommend it. Just keep it detached from the original. I wouldn't compare it so much, because I was, and the more I compared it, I felt like the more disappointed I was, because it's not the comparison's not there. It's not meant for that. This is a new era. This is a new Blade Runner. So that's all I have to say. Thank you for listening, and take care, folks.